Good morning, Anuradha. Can you hear me? Good morning, Anuradha. Anuradha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
But you are not audible. Is there some problem with the connectivity?
So, am I audible now?
Yes. But will you have to keep your mic like that, picked up in your hand?
Sir, I think it has to be done like this only because the voice doesn't become audible if it is there.
But it's very important for you to be audible so that we can respond. You can respond to our questions. And
Yes, sir.
Arvind Mohan Saab, shall we start, Arvind Mohan ji?
Has he contacted contact किया उनको साहब को?
वो कर रहा हूँ, but since Anuradha has joined, shall we start?
We can start. You can start and then he will join after you.
Okay. Anuradha, so you have done your graduation and he has just joined in political science from KM College, Delhi University.
आ गए साहब भी.
No, sir.
Pardon?
Sir, I did my graduation in statistics.
Okay, sorry, yeah. But KM College, Delhi University.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir has joined. Sir, please take over.
No, please carry on.
Achha, okay. So, Anuradha, can you tell me where is Rohtasgarh?
Sorry, sir. I cannot recall.
You were born there.
So, is it the older name of Rohtak?
Yes, yes.
Presently, I thought maybe some other place is named as.
Anyway, okay. So, and your hobby is such a good hobby you have that it keeps everybody, tuned. Your hobby is cooking Indian cuisines.
Yes, sir.
How have you picked up this hobby? From whom? From mother or somebody else?
So from mother only and from YouTube channels, I used to learn and then cook. So it just became hobby gradually.
So that means you are good at picking up a hobby or picking up any good thing from the YouTube and then putting it to practice.
So yes, sir.
That's a very good thing. That's a very unusual. I mean, that's very difficult to actually learn from YouTube and then put it into practice. It's a bit difficult. I've seen it in my house happening, and we spoil everything. Okay, Anuradha, now tell me, you belong to Haryana.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But in your cadre options, you have said no to Haryana. Why?
Sir, I have been in Haryana for a good amount of time. But given the chance through civil services, I wanted to explore the diversity and I wanted to contribute my bit to other places also. And Agmat being a very diverse cadre gives me the option to look at various challenges and a kind of a all India character that it really gives. So I really like that the option.
But Anuradha, if you get posted or if you get allotted one particular cadre, say Kerala, would it not have been more appropriate for you to pay back? I mean, your own place of birth, your own place of state, your own birth state, would it not have been? I mean, don't you see the misery and the sufferings in your own state? Doesn't it move you? Why should you be moving to another state to go and serve and leave your own state behind? Or is there some other reason?
So truly, as Haryana is my birthplace, so is India also. As I have my responsibilities towards Haryana, so as towards India also. And my country has so much to offer. And given the chance, I am really ready to explore other areas of. I mean, I have been there in Haryana, seen challenges, seen opportunities. But now, given the chance, I really want to explore, contribute towards my own country.
Okay, we'll come to that later once more. I mean, I still require some more clarification from you on this. But anyway, tell me, on the farmers' agitation, what are your views? How, suppose but you are not opting for Haryana, doesn't matter. Maybe at some point of time in your service, you are allotted or you are assigned the job of handling the farmers' agitation. Suppose you get UP cadre. And there you are to handle the situation as it is arising today or obtaining today on the borders of Delhi. How would you handle this situation? It seems to be not moving at all. But I mean, our farmers, we really feel sympathetic that they are to undergo all this suffering sitting there. How would you take a middle path so that both the sides are satisfied?
So, first and foremost need I feel is the consultation. I need to talk to the leaders of the farmers, have a consultation with all the stakeholders involved, and look at the sides of both the look at the point of view of both the sides, and then I can if I can recommend some amendments or maybe some changes in the bill which can be beneficial to both the parties, like the dispute resolution mechanism that is in the bill. It can be strengthened to include judiciary. Second, sir, there is a need that APMC to be given the level playing field, because there is a concern that APMC mandi will collapse because states do not have the power to get the mandi fees. And third, I feel that there has to include a more infrastructure. Market creation has to be done. Like seen in the Bihar, there were very few markets. So even after the reformation, even after the abolition of APMC, it did not sustain. So there is a need to increase the market penetration so that farmers get the offer to sell beyond APMC mandi, like the transportation facilities to be given. Such facilities can be incorporated. So.
That's a very balanced approach you've taken, Anuradha. Very mature way of handling it. Tell me, we plan to double the farmers' income. How do we go about doing it? Is it achievable?
So, looking at the growth of agriculture, like in the Corona period, beside agriculture, almost all the sectors grew in the negative territory, but agriculture was growing. So, I feel that it is achievable, and for that, there is a need to reduce the input cost and increase the marketability of the products of the farmers. In that direction, the bills are in so these two provisions are, if handled properly, it can be achievable. So
Another, I would still request you to speak a bit louder. I don't know. Let me see if I have. No, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
problem
think
is that
got it. Yeah, I think my thing was okay. One more response that I wish from you. What are the causes of the farmers' suicides that we come across in the south or in the western areas of our country?
So again, I would link that to the increased cost in the input and decreasing marketability. For example, sir, in the southern and the western part of our country, that that part is mostly rain-fed agriculture. So they do not get. They are dependent upon monsoon, and so they do not get irrigation facilities as much as it is in the Haryana and Punjab. So one aspect is this, sir. Second is, sir, the facilities in terms of the machineries, the fertilizer, that is also not as much bright as it should be. And the third is, I feel that there has to be more organization of the food processing industries and the private companies, so that they can sell their products at a reasonable price. So these three provisions I find so.
Okay, we will review that at the end. Let me now ask you. You've done MA in political science.
Yes, sir.
So from Delhi University now.
Sir, from IGNOU.
From
I am
IGNOU.
doing master.
You have not completed your MA.
So 2 exams are left due to the
Yes.
corona. It got postponed.
Okay. How many papers one has to give for completing the MA in IGNOU?
The 12 papers, 4 in the first year and 8 in the second year.
In DU, I think we have 16, if I remember correct.
Okay.
In U, we have 16. 8 in MA previous and 8 in the MA finance. That way.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, but you've given TANEX at number 8. TANEX you put at number 8, much over many other Group A services as well. What prompted you to put it at 8?
So the nature and the diversity that Danix provides, I find it somewhere similar to the diversity which IS provides. The difference is that it is at the all India character and Danix at the state level character. So kind of the diversity and challenges, I prefer this. Sir.
Uh, two observations, Anuradha. Number one, it is not exactly the same in terms of career progression, for instance. You will almost be 8 years behind the IAS or any other central services. That is one. The other thing is, then on the same logic, Puducherry civil service would have been the same. They will provide you the same opportunities.
Yeah, yes, sir. But as I chose the Agmut, so I want to, given the choice, I just wanted to explore my option. And being the national capital territory, there is good amount of scope. So given the chance, I preferred this. Similar to Agmut also, it also gives me a chance. So I feel that there is a kind of a synchronization between these two.
You've done MA. What is double jeopardy?
So I'm not
It
able
doesn't
to
matter. It
recall.
doesn't matter. If you can't recollect, doesn't matter at all. I'll put another question. I just want to know your response to some questions on political science. Tell me, what was Karl Marx's view on religion?
So Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of masses. According to Karl Marx, everything beside economic factor does not matter. According to him, economic factor is the base, and other factors, maybe it's politics, maybe it's religion, everything is superstructure, and economic factor controls everything, also religion.
Yes, very good. What was the mechanism in which he said that one state of society will progress and march to another one, then the third one, fourth one? What was that mechanism? How did he describe it?
Yes, sir. So, according to, so can I take few seconds, sir?
Yeah, please do.
So he applied the three laws of the Hegel, in which there was that the idea there is a movement of the matter because of the contradiction between two opposite. One remains and the other collapses. Similarly,
But what did he call it, Anuradha?
so that term is not coming.
Yes, that is important, Anuradha. That is what I want from you. Anyway,
I
is that dialectic materialism?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
It is
Anuradha.
dialectic, sir. That contradiction, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. But one more small question on the international affairs.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the one nation theory and what is the two nation theory in the context of West Asia?
So the two nation theory is regarding the Israel and Palestinian, where UN has said in 1948 that there has to be separate nations for the Israel and the Palestine. The boundaries has to be demarcated properly. But and it is focusing right now also. All the countries are pushing for the two nation state theory. But the Israel is not agreeing to that. It is grabbing the I would say the land areas of the West Bank, and so it is going for the one nation state theory.
Very good, Anuradha. Over to Chairman, sir.
Good morning, Anuradha.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so let me pick up from where my predecessor has left, which is Israel. Why is West Bank called West Bank?
So I would really like to read about this, sir. I do not know exactly.
Okay, no problem whatsoever. Now tell me, how did the nation of Israel come up? And in which year was it formed?
Yes, sir. So there was a statement by the British during the war. In the first war, British said that Israelis or they would get their home, and after the war, after the I would say the devastation that was caused by the Hitler, in 1945 after the Second War, many Jews moved from Germany to Israel because they originated their home to Israel, and in 1948 the country came into origin.
Okay, very good. So this two-nation theory was also exercised. This theory was exercised by the British when they created, when they partitioned our country. Do you think the partition of India could have been avoided?
So, looking at those circumstances when there was so much of violence and there was so much of atrocities that were done by the Muslim League, and I think that at that point of time it was not possible to avoid the partition. It was the best possible scenario at that time, so to control the riots and the violence that were happening.
That is not a great reason to divide a country just because there are riots and so on. You divide a country. Then the riots, say even in the US between the whites and the black Americans, that doesn't lead to partition. Why was partition an absolute necessity is my question. And was there any way that this could have been avoided? And why did this feeling come amongst the Muslims of the country that they should have another country of their own?
So the Muslims were very rigid, especially the Jinnah's demand of creation of separate Pakistan. It was as early as in 1940, and we waited till 1947, looking at all the possible options. But Muslim League was not ready to move, and it was not ready to contribute. So at that time, I feel that it was not avoidable. So that was very rigid in its approach.
Okay. Now let's turn to Afghanistan. Afghanistan is, the wars in Afghanistan are all part of what is called the Great Game. Have you heard of this term, the Great Game?
Yes, sir.
Why this Great Game, and the Great Game between who all?
So it has been the area of the great game between major countries, like in the past between the USA and the Russia in 1979, and now between major countries like USA, China, Pakistan. So the reasons for the involvement of many countries lies in its strategic location. It provides connectivity to the Central Asia. Then, due to the economic resources it has, the mineral, China is very much interested in basically the economic resources of Afghanistan.
Are you aware who created this term?
Third, I would say the initiative of the China. Not audible. Would you please repeat, sir?
No. You please go on. There was some difficulty in your audio. Please carry on.
So I was saying that the reasons for the great game in Afghanistan I majorly find in 2-3 reasons. The first is its strategic location, the accessibility it provides to the Central Asia. The second is the economic resources it has, China is very much interested in the mineral resources that it has, and the third is its location, because of which it provides reach to the China through BRI to Pakistan. So major reason I find these three, sir.
Okay, so what is the present status in Afghanistan? What is the present status of the state of affairs in Afghanistan?
So presently, US is withdrawing from the Afghanistan, and Taliban is capturing the major parts of Afghanistan, and there is a kind of a civil war creation that is emerging, where Afghan forces are fighting to secure the country and Talibans are fighting to gain the territory. And there are meetings that are held in the international countries, like the Troika Plus that was recently held between the Pakistan, between the USA, China, Russia, to create a outcome for to prevent the violence. But the situation presently is very grave, sir.
Who are the Taliban?
So Taliban is a terrorist organization that finds its origin after the US withdrawal from the Afghanistan in 1996, and that is what I know. So Taliban is a kind of a terrorist organization.
Okay, doesn't matter. Now, coming closer to India, what is our look east policy?
So through Look East policy, we want to increase our engagement with the countries of the ASEAN, and and also with the countries like Japan, South Korea. We want to increase our we want to increase our holds at the eastern side, basically with the ASEAN. So
Are you aware of some major projects taken under this policy?
yes, sir. So Look East was upgraded to Act East, in which there were major projects like, so there was it- there was an Asian plan in which we'll contribute towards in the maritime security, in the blue economy, and with regard to Japan, we are projects like infrastructure development in our northeast. So such projects are being taken. So
Okay. Arvind ji?
Yes. So good morning, Anuradha.
good morning, sir.
You were a gold medalist in statistics during
Yes, sir.
graduation. Then what was the reason you shifted to political science in post-graduation?
So my post graduation in the subject is linked to my optional subject. So statistics I did not choose as my optional subject, sir, because it was not helping me in other GS syllabus, and the syllabus of statistics in optional was very vast, which I had read in graduation. So gradually I developed interest while studying polity and international relations. So as I chose my optional subject, so I did my post graduation in same subject.
So when did you think of becoming an civil servant or going for IAS?
So first, I started in my third year of graduation. So it was during that time when I worked in an NGO, which really motivated me, a kind of a satisfaction and inner peace that it gave. So I tried that it is a good opportunity to work at grassroots level.
Okay. Now, from your knowledge of statistics, there are very three common terms or means that we use:
Yes, sir.
arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean. What are these?
Yes, sir. So there are different kinds of averages which are used in different situations. Like, so when the terms are given in like when the simple terms are given, like 1 2 3 for anything, then if simple average has to be calculated, it is the mean sum of all items divided by the number of items. And geometric mean is calculated when the terms are in the p by q ratio. So for example, when we need to calculate the profit earning ratio, then we go for the geometric mean. And harmonic mean is the reciprocal of is the reciprocal mean of the all the averages. It is mostly taken when the when the when the when the data are not in the same order, like sometimes it's increasing, sometimes it's decreasing. That way we go for harmonic mean.
Fine. But what I wanted to know was, why do we calculate these kind of means? What is the significance of having a harmonic mean? Calculating that.
Yes, sir. So depending upon situation, different means are calculated, but somewhere or else, these are all kind of averages, and they find to know the exact crux, or I would say the trend of what the situation is. So if we have to say in one term, what is the trend, what is the direction of in which it is going, we have to know the mean, and in different direction, different means are calculated.
Okay, nice. And why do we calculate standard deviation? What is the significance?
So standard deviation majorly helps to know what is the variability in the data sets, how close they are to the average, how far they are. So if we want to know the variation in the data, like how much, if it really points towards the mean, if it really points towards the average, or there is so much biasness in the data, variation in the data, then standard deviation becomes important.
Oh, nice. There is another thing we calculate in respect of correlation,
Yes, sir.
coefficient of correlation.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So coefficient of correlation, if I am not wrong, sir, it ranges from -1 to 1. It helps to know the direction. Like if we have two data sets, let's say X and Y, and we want to know if X is moving in positive direction, what is the direction in Y it moving. So if they are moving in the same direction, that is the effect of X is same on Y, then it will be 1. And if they are negatively correlated, then it will point towards -1. So the correlation coefficient helps us to know the relationship between two data sets.
How are these two sets correlated?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice, nice. Now, US has a complaint against India in WTO
Yes.
regarding the subsidies that we give. Oh, what is that issue?
So agricultural subsidies at the WTO are divided as green box, blue box, and amber box.
Hmm.
In the amber box subsidies, developed countries have to reduce the subsidies to 1/10 of 1989 level. I am not sure, sir. And developed countries have to reduce to 5%. So USA says that India does not agree to the de minimis level, and it gives subsidies to its farmers through MSP, through fair price shops. So it does not cater to the limits under WTO, and so it is violating. So it is a kind of a disruption to the market, like, so it is the reason basically.
So, given this kind of a background, why the government is not explain this to the farmers that we cannot have MSP as a law?
Yes, sir. So, looking at the past trends, like since Green Revolution started, farmers have been dependent upon the MSP issue since a very long period of time. So, I feel that with gradual improvement, with the consultation, with the trust with the private sector, it will evolve gradually. It will take some amount of time because they are very much dependent upon this issue presently. So,
That's right. I agree to that. But what is happening is that is the main grievance of the farmers, that MSP should be taken as included as a law.
yes, sir.
Government is not able to do it, and the reason is fairly simple, because of
Yes,
our
sir.
obligations under WTO.
Yes, sir.
So, isn't it proper that the government should explain it to them that our international obligations do not permit us to do it, rather than saying that we will not do it, it will not go, but we will not do it.
So indeed, sir, if government becomes successful at explaining this point of time, it will be a major breakthrough in the farmer protest, and issue will be resolved very fastly. So that's a very good step to talk to this about farmers.
Okay. Now, WTO has a classification for countries developing Is there some definition on the basis of which they are classified as developing and developed or underdeveloped?
So all the countries, they declare their status as developed or developing. It is the major criticism that US has, that every country itself declares as developing and then get the discounts or get the subsidies. So every country declares on its own.
Are there some big anomalies in this? Are you aware of some countries which are fairly developed and they are still declaring themselves as developing?
Yes, sir, the China, major country,
South Korea. China is still considered to be
developing.
developing, but South Korea is a developed economy. But still, in WTO, their declaration is that we are developing country.
Yes, sir.
But what is the benefit that you get by declaring your status as a developing country?
So there are countries like USA and EU. They give preference when somebody declares it as a developing country status. Then, in the form of the increased market reach, access, it increases. Like so, GSP benefits US also gives to the developing countries. Similarly, it is in the EU, Europe also. So benefits that they get.
Fine, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So your interview is over. Now we'll start with the feedback.
Yes, sir.
Anuradha,
Yes, sir.
I'll start with my first question. I asked you, where is Rohtasgarh?
Yes,
See,
sir.
it was just you knew the answer. It is not that you didn't know it. But what I observed from the entire reading of your talk interview today, that as it picked up, you gained more confidence, and the manner of delivery also improved. So, had it been in the first instance, I'm sure you would have given the answer where Rohtasgarh is. Later on, you developed more confidence, and it was in a manner seamless transmission of your knowledge came later on. But in the initial stages, there were some hiccups. Okay. So, or maybe you were overawed as to what this board is about or something. But anyway, that so my suggestion why I picked up this issue was that when you are put a question by the board, when you go to the UPSC, first take in what is being asked of you. Let it sink in you. See, it could not, Rohtasgarh could not have been something out of the blue. It had something to do with your death. Mostly, maybe 60 to 70% of the questions will emanate from your death. So if you had given it one little thought as to what it could be, then you would have certainly said, maybe at least you could have added by preceding by saying maybe, sir, it is Rohtas, it is Rohtak, maybe. That could have taken the issue entire, because as a civil servant, see, now you're not being interviewed as a candidate who's writing an exam. You're now being interviewed in order to let you inside the, into the civil services. And the qualities of a civil servant are very critical. These are what is kept in mind by the board before asking a question of you. So, presence of mind or how you react to a situation. So, had you taken 2-3 seconds to just think as to should I say it is Rohtak, you would have got the answer in your mind. So, my suggestion: you take some time off when you are put a question. Just think for 2 or 3 seconds. Don't get overawed by the presence of the board that okay, it might be something very unusual they're asking me, or maybe on a very, it's a very simple thing out of your DAF. So keep your DAF in mind when you go to the board. That is one.
Yes,
second, certain contradictions that that I have found in your DAF, which might compel some questions from you. Number one, I asked you as to why you've not put Haryana. Get more convincing aspects, get more convincing things into it. Just think over, okay, as to why you've not put Haryana and put number one. Number two, Danix. Danix is 7 to 8 years behind a Group A service. So something more. Either you say that more important than my career progression is my, say something like that. That it's the place where I work, how I connect with the people. I have a good connection with the people. I mean, that sort of thing, it should flow out. Number two. Number three, farmers' agitation. Farmers' agitation, see, a civil servant again is how he is required to work, to start from ground zero. How will you get to know the leaders? You said you will contact the leaders or you will speak to the leaders, but how do you connect with the leaders? How do you identify them? That is the first step. So, it has to go step by step. For a civil servant, it's very important how you go step by step, how you rise from ground zero and how you actually achieve. So you will first identify the leaders, how you will do it. You will talk to the panchayat heads, I mean, something like that. So that is how it comes out. Number two. Number three, doubling of the farmer's income. One more point that you can add, which is now being seriously debated, is the agro industries. See, in the agricultural sector, we have almost reached a plateau. Almost. I mean, we've done more than, and now we are in fact drawing upon the resources to like in Haryana itself, in Bihar, the ground water is now getting, it's come up to the level that we can't do anymore. So agro industries is one area that you can suggest that this could form the raw materials or the sources on which we can build upon the agro industries, and then doubling of the income then from there. So that way. And lastly, hello. And lastly, on Karl Marx, go through, because that's your subject. You've done MA in political science. So you just go through it. You had the answers, but if you had thought 2 or 3 seconds before you actually reacted to the question, responded to the question, you could have got it. So that. And lastly, there could be another contradiction in what you've written in your DAF. Not exactly a contradiction, but there could be a question on this. Is as to you've done political science, MA in political science, still you have opted for IFS at number 5. So that could be another question that you can, you might be a possible question for you. So just be prepared. It's nothing, it's not a right or wrong answer, but the manner in which you respond, that will cleanse the issue. Okay, Anuradha?
Yes, sir.
But your overall, your response was very good. Chairman sir will also tell you a bit about your dress code on that day. Those things will come later on. Thank you, Arvind Mohan Saab.
So, Anuradha, it was a very good performance by you.
Thank you, sir.
And, on the basis of this performance, at least I see you as a future civil servant.
Thank you, sir.
And regarding the questions, I asked you some very, very basic questions, because what I have found during the interviews is that people, they learn advanced concepts and tend to forget the basics.
Yes, sir.
The questions which I asked were basically not even at graduation level. They are below that.
Yes,
But people don't remember it. I have seen it with other candidates. They can tell me about advanced concepts, but not as the basics, they don't remember.
yes, sir.
So that was very nice of you, that you had a very clear idea of what these things are.
Thank you.
And regarding that WTO, also your response was very good. And I wish the government could have explained. I don't know why they are not doing it.
Yes, sir.
And yes, of course, regarding the developing and developed countries also, you explained very nicely. Actually, there is no definition.
Yes, sir.
And countries are going for self-declaration, a major problem that US and EU countries have.
Yes, sir.
That was a nice interview. Very pleased to interview you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And so Chairman sir will give his views now.
Yeah. So Anuradha, as my colleagues have told you, your overall performance was very good.
Thank you.
Of all the sections, your replies to questions on stats put to you by Mr. Arvind Mohan were the best.
Yes, sir.
Even though they were your subjects in your graduation, which was quite some time back, your replies to questions on stats were extremely good. The quality of your answers to questions on international relations, particularly on Afghanistan, Israel, Look East policy and other things, would have been a little better.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Completely.
So you knew a smattering of the subjects, but you could not put it all together.
Yes, sir.
So what you need to do is that on all these subjects, you need to have very brief, very basic, something that say class 10, class 12 student would know. The year Israel was formed, basic things, why it was formed. You knew that, Jews were coming and this was happening, but you could not put it in a sequential form.
Yes,
And
sir.
the way it evolved. So that needs to be done. Similarly, the questions on Afghanistan, similarly, the question on the partition of India, and so on. So what you need to do is that you sit down and put all the basic information that you have on these subjects in a on a piece of paper. Ideally, it should be a register. You say, start writing on Afghanistan. Read whether on Wikipedia or any, even on YouTube, you can see a lot of programs on Afghanistan. And you'll get a basic idea of what was the Great Game, who coined the word Great Game, and how the USSR tried to prevail, how they first wanted to install a communist government, how the US was alarmed, and when the USSR invaded, how they helped the Mujahideen to oust them. Taliban, to say that Taliban is a terrorist group is not a very good statement. Why? Because you never know, 2 years, 3 years down the line, they may be the government in Afghanistan. And they are not a terrorist group. You have to go through the history of the Taliban. The word Taliban means a couple of students. Talib is a student. Taliban is students. And who was the Taliban? When the USSR invaded Afghanistan, a lot of refugees fled to the bordering Pakistan, and there they were given shelter by Pakistanis, and the young children were educated and brought up in the madrasas there. Okay, so they were the students, but besides giving them education, they were also given training in arms and ammunition, handling of arms and ammunition, and also fighting. And once the Soviets withdrew in 1989. You should know the timelines very correctly, because your timelines were totally off. If you know the timelines, you would know how to systematize the sequence of events. So, yeah, okay. So you need to study systematically on all the questions that were put to you on international relations. And otherwise, the answers were very much in order. A word about your dress. I'm sure you're going to wear a sari.
Yes, sir.
A sober colored sari, white, off-white, creamish, pastel,
Yes,
nothing flashy. The borders should maybe contrasting, but they should not be flashy. Cotton or handloom, and that is about all. You are fine. All you need to do is you need to systematize your knowledge base in an orderly fashion, so that when you are speaking, you can speak coherently and in an order. It will happen only if you sit down and write down your answers. Any question on Afghanistan? This is what is going to be my answer. Any question on Israel? This is what is going to be my answer. So, partition of India, this is not more than 2 to 3 paragraphs you need to prepare on each one of these subjects, right? And you will be fine. The timeline should be accurate. The facts should be correct. Now, do you have any questions of us?
So that answer, like why I did not choose my home state, it's not very convincing. So I am not getting what I should say.
You say that, well, I'm joining an all India service. I hope to become a civil service. So I want to serve in other parts of the country. And I've chosen so-and-so cadre. There did not be any specific reason for choosing a cadre. You are volunteering yourself for an all India service, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So your first preference is Kerala, is it?
So Agmut.
Agmut. Fine. Agmut covers almost the entire country. You serve in the northeast, you serve in Goa, you serve in Pondicherry, Chandigarh, serve in Delhi. Most of your life will be spent in Delhi. You'll be serving in Andamans. No other cadre offers you that variety and that sweep of an all India service that the Agmut cadre gives. So you say Agmut because it gives me an opportunity to serve in several parts of the country, in different corners of the country.
So
Good
that
enough.
is what I said, but the sir said that it's not a very convincing answer.
No,
You
no, no.
tried to reply in the Chak De style.
Okay.
It is the
May I-
moment.
May I add, sir?
Please.
Sir, may I add? See, Anuradha, why I said, because you forgot one part of it. See, you were born in Rohtak, in Haryana, but you were brought up in Delhi.
No, sir.
No,
I am
but you've done your, where have you done your schooling from?
Educated in
Rohtak
Delhi.
only. No, sir.
But-
I did my schooling from Rohtak only. Till
And
12th, I was in Rohtak, and after 12th, I went to Delhi, and only 3 years I was in Delhi. Then also, then again I came to Rohtak. So major
And-
life is in Rohtak only.
Major life was there, but you've done your schooling, you've done your graduation from Delhi.
The
You've done your
schooling is from Rohtak only graduation.
graduation you've done from Delhi. IGNOU is in Delhi. You are doing
Yes, sir.
your preparation is from Delhi. So
Yes,
during the course of your studies and preparations, you developed a liking for Delhi, which is very much part of. I mean, that is what you
Yes, sir.
admit you've given. So that is. I just wanted you to add Delhi to your answer, because you've also
Okay.
done your education. It is not that it's a strange city for you. It's not you are not a stranger to Delhi. That is
Yes,
what
sir.
should have been added. That is what I meant
Yes,
to say.
sir.
That you add Delhi, not the negative things, but the positive things, that you also studied in Delhi, and that is where you picked up your interest in Delhi.
ठीक है. Okay, sir.
In my opinion, as sir has said, the short answer is it is an all India service. I am offering my services on all India basis, and AGMAT has the all India.
All
reach.
India character. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
That's
Okay.
as simple as that.
No, Arvind wants one point of. Sir, she has said no to Haryana. That has to be that has to be answered.
नहीं, चंडीगढ़ तो हरियाणा में ही है. I mean, चंडीगढ़ is
Capital है.
ना. देखिए ये it is not going to be, there is not going to be an argument in the board.
Yes.
They will ask why not Haryana, why. So you just say I am aspiring to join the civil services and an all India service, and there is no better cadre than AGMOT, which gives
All India character.
all India character and an opportunity to. There will be no debate on this. No,
No, it is yes,
Okay,
it is not a right answer or a wrong answer. There is no
Yes.
right answer or wrong answer to this.
Utna candidate is not expected to know all the implications. It is an idea that a candidate has about the job he or she is aspiring for, and this is his idea that AGMOT gives me a sweep, a larger canvas to work on, and that's it. And besides, you will also get a chance to serve in the government of India, right?
Yes, sir.
So that should be fine. There's just give this answer and you'll be absolutely fine. In fact,
Okay.
I also gave AGMOT as my first preference. I did not give my home state. I was asked this question and this is the reply I gave, and it was very well appreciated. So you
Okay.
are on sure grounds, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
One very small thing you may like to correct in your delivery is that before proper nouns, you use the article the.
No,
For
Afghanistan.
instance, you say the Afghanistan or the China, the Israel. So proper nouns, especially names of countries, except it is a few countries like the United States of America or the erstwhile USSR. So some of these countries, otherwise you just don't use the article the or the. Okay, when saying, I mean, you don't say I'm speaking to the Anuradha.
Yes, sir.
You're speaking to Anuradha, right? So
Yes,
keep
sir.
that in mind. Okay?
Sure,
It's a
sir.
very small thing. It will not go against you, but it looks a little more refined if you don't use the before proper nouns. You are otherwise fine. Any last question? We just have 1 minute more.
Thank you, sir. I got my doubts.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
prepare a little more systematically and you will be
Yes, sir.
Bye bye. All the best. God bless.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you,
All the best,
Anuradha.
Anuradha.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Do
Thank you,
well.
sir.
Do well.
Thank you, sir.